Thunderstone. Hi, today I'm reviewing Thunderstone, the starter set, designed by Mike Elliott and brought to you by AEG Games. And it is a deck building game for 2 to 5 players, and it plays in about 45 minutes to an hour. And got all the cards out here. My friend Bernice, the dragon, is going to help me out later in the review. So, what comes in the game? You have this box here, and they've included these little divider cards, which, you know, this one is a basic deck, so you can go ahead and put a basic deck behind here, ready to go right out of the box when you want to play. And of course, all of your other cards, you can have them divided up in there. I really like that they've included that. It's a good way to organize the game. A lot of extra space if you want to buy expansions, which I'm sure you will want to do that. This is a really fun game, and having more options and more cards is going to be really nice in keeping the game fresh and introducing new combinations to the game. So you have a nice rule book here with some of the pictures and everything. They do have in the back as well a reference sheet, so as you're first getting started, you may want to have this visible to everyone so that they can reference that as you play along for the first time. But everything is pretty well explained in here. Nothing really left confusing or anything like that, so the rules are great. Then you have all of these different cards. The dice are not included. It's not a big deal. It's a little unfortunate that the starter set doesn't include any means of keeping track of experience points. I believe some of the other sets do, so if you end up getting those sets, we use a die, so yeah, 1 experience point. If you get another one, you just change it to 2, whatever's showing, and that's easy enough. You keep it in the box. It's not a big deal. So in the game, you're going to set up with 8 different cards to set up your village, which are items, magic spells, some villagers that have different abilities. The game includes 10, so you have a couple over here that you're going to be switching out, not playing with for that game. So you have 8 of those. Then you're going to have 4 of your heroes to choose from. The game includes 5. So again, you'll have one that you won't play with. You'll be able to try different combinations and everything like that. But again, a starter set, so you know, really in the game shines, I think, with a lot of different possibilities. If you get the other decks and you can exchange these, you'd have, you know, 15 different heroes that you can switch out and choose from. You have your disease cards, which you sometimes will have to take from playing fighting monsters. And like I said, the basic deck, as we looked at that card over there, divider card, is represented here. You're going to have 7 of these, 2, 2, and 2, which gives you a good start here. You have something that gives you light, which will help in the dungeon. But if you look at the guys here, they're just kind of your basic run-of-the-mill soldier. And let's go ahead and look at these. So the cards give you a certain amount of coin. This guy gives you 0. This guy would give you 2. If you're going into the village, you're just pretty much worried about what's shown in the coin area right there. And this is how much each hero is worth if you were to purchase it. So this, you would have to have on a turn something that adds up to 5 in your hand with these little icons to get this and add it to your deck. The heroes have something called strength, which is shown here, and that is required. That comes in with the weapons here. You have to have at least something equal to or greater than what's shown on the weapon for strength to wield that and gain the ability there. So that's kind of the major role players here on the cards, other than of course the text that will tell you in the dungeon, if you do this you get this special ability. If you purchase or a hero or villager this turn, you can place it on top of your deck. You know, things like that, which are explained. We have the light here, which I'll explain in the dungeon, and cards with certain experience points shown in the bottom left hand corner, and victory points in the bottom right hand corner. And so if we go and you look at the different cards here, well, let's go look at the dungeon here. So one thing that probably the thing I like most about this game is the monsters and the means of gaining experience and victory points. So the object of the game is to be the one with the most victory points at the end of the game. You do that by defeating monsters mainly. And but it's not just your run-of-the-mill, here I have this amount of cards, I'm going to purchase a victory point, or I'm going to gain the victory point this way. It's, you have to pick a monster, defeat a monster, and the monster interacts with you, usually gives you, you know, battle damage, different things like that that you'd have to handle. And then later on in the game they have bonuses when they're added to your deck. You know, they give you coins and different things like that. So not just a victory point card, there's so much more to them than that. And I really enjoy that a lot. So you got your hit points, that's how much you need, you know, an attack of 4 or greater to defeat this monster. And the rank of the monsters matters. So you have 3 different ones and the deck. Well, this is rank 1, 2, and 3. You imagine walking into the dungeon here. You have a darkness of 1, 2, and 3. And if you don't have any light, which was shown here, so you have a torch with a light of 1, that would counteract the darkness of 1 here, and you would just need 4 to defeat the monster. If you didn't have any cards with light shown in this area of the card, then you have a -2 to your attack, so you'd actually need 6 to defeat this monster. And it goes increasingly up by 2 here as well, so it'd be darkness of 2, so -2 attack points per darkness, so -4 and -6. So I really like that element. You have to have light in your deck to more easily defeat the monsters, and you're able to choose which monster which would be more beneficial to you, more experience points, more victory points, or whatnot. The game ends by the dungeon as well. So, Bernice, if you wouldn't mind handing me your friend there, the dragon. So this gets shuffled into the bottom 10 cards of the deck. When it comes out, it will end up in the 3rd roll here. The game ends when the dragon is defeated or the dragon reaches rank 1. At that point, people tally up all of their victory points and the game is over. So I didn't really explain the experience points, so let's go into that. You have each card in the bottom left hand corner shows you how much it costs to increase or level up the person. So to change this guy, you can change this guy actually into any of the 4 heroes up there. You need 2 experience points. Again, you gain that from the monsters usually up in the dungeon up there. There is some other cards, other ways to gain experience points, like this Opportunist. You can decide to just destroy the card and you gain a victory point. And you'll really need the victory points again to help level these guys up, which give you no money and only 1 attack to more useful cards like this with money and increased attack and everything like that. So this you can upgrade for 2 experience points to a level 2 black hand, and etc. And you want to do that to get to those really powerful cards that will help you later on in the game. Really great game. If you like deck building games, if you haven't played a deck building game, this is also a great, introduction to that realm of deck building. There's a lot of shuffling involved. As you run out of cards here, you'll go ahead and shuffle your discard and you'll add more and more cards. So there is a lot of shuffling. You may want to invest in some card protectors for these to keep them nice. But yeah, definitely really like Thunderstone, and looking forward to seeing the expansions and playing with some new variety of cards. But all the cards work really well together. A really solid game that I really like this game. A big thumbs up.